Good afternoon.
So Isaac, why do you think people should read your book, or why should they be aware of primeval history in Genesis?
Yes, that's a wonderful question. When we start reading the book of Genesis, for instance, when we are reading the second chapter, we forget about the first chapter. But don't you think if it's a book, that those things are related and building up to something more interesting? A bigger chunk of literature may speak to us something different from the little verses over here, over there, and over there. So I have been trying to put together as much as possible of the book of Genesis. And after each story units, like so-called creation story, Adam and Eve story, Cain and Abel story, Noah's Ark story, and Tower of Babel story. But what is the next block of bigger chunk of literature that have some kind of meaning of itself? And there, I'm already stepping way ahead because the Bible people usually don't read the whole story even. They will pick up just verse over here, verse over there, and then make big points, moral points, or whatever big points they would like to come up with. But I'd like to see what the author, the book itself is trying to tell us. Then when I reached the Tower of Babel story, and then looked at the 5 stories together, now the whole Mesopotamian literature, or ancient Near Eastern literature, has its own parallels to biblical stories, those 5 stories. From the creation, and the 3 in the middle stories, those stories really threatening to the mankind. Remember, Adam was threatened to die. God would kill him if he eats from the tree of one of those 2 trees. But when he did, God didn't kill him. And the Cain and Abel story, look, the second generation of human being, 50% of the male population was eliminated when Cain had killed his brother. And the third story, look, the Noah's Ark story, 99.9% of the people are killed. So what is this that God is trying to kill those people? Then I found in the Tower of Babel story, the people got dispersed from the city. Hey, look, be fruitful and multiply and fill the earth. It was in the first story. And now, fill the earth. The people are being accommodated by spreading out all over the world. And for that parallel, we needed the ancient Near Eastern literature, the Mesopotamian literature. There I found so-called Near Eastern flood story, the Babylonian flood story. It's not just a flood story. It had all the first 4 stories: creation, and the God trying to get rid of people 3 times, and the 3rd time with a great flood. And at the end, what God had to come up with was a birth control. But if we look at the biblical story, where the Babylonians had the birth control, we have the dispersion story. Be fruitful and multiply and fill the earth. So it's entirely non-birth control people here. The earth is big enough so we can spread out all over the world, and we have plenty of land. No. Then, what's the difference between this thought and that thought? What I thought was, these Babylonian tales came up with the urban culture, whereas the Hebrew story was from the outside of the city, the nomadic culture. Where the nomadic culture, the more people are merrier, and we can split up and spread all over the world. But in the urban setting, we are enclosed in the walled city. If we have too many people, it's too crowded. So we need a birth control, because there was an overpopulation problem in the ancient Near East. Oh, I can give you all examples of that. The overpopulation is an ancient concept. So that alone, coming from the first 11 chapters of Genesis, was awfully exciting for me. That's why I would like to say we have to read a bigger chunks of Bible, then we may be surprised by the new kind of images and the wonderful message we had never expected to hear from them. Okay. So that's my excitement.
Thank you.